Welcome, welcome. We're now going to MSQ and hopefully finish ARR today. It's reassuring indeed to behold the countenance of a friend when one's homeland teeters upon the very brink of disaster. Though a single misstep could send us plunging into the abyss, your heroic presence strokes the flames of courage within my heart. But you did not come to Dragonhead to listen to my prattling. The Lord Commander has arrived. Would treat with you in the intercessory. The last that we left off was the Keeper of the Lake was finished. It got Summer quite a blessing of light. And Dragon roared. Oh, and Moonbreed as that. Dragon roared and then Ishgard needs our help. I thank you for coming with such haste, and apologize for my absence. Suffice it to say, Lady Iceheart and her heretics have much to answer for. Yes, we are but recently returned from the gates of judgment ourselves. Given the circumstances, we quite understand if you would prefer to postpone our appointed audience. On the contrary, Master Alphino, I think it more important than ever that this meeting takes place. Rest assured, I shall return to my post on Ishgard's wall the moment our business is concluded. But before we move on to the subject of reinforcement, however, I would introduce you to a close friend, a stalwart ally, Estinian. May I present to you Ishgard's Azure Dragoon. An impressive title, though I confess, I know precious little of the Order of Dragoon. They're formidable warriors all. Yet even among such masters of the lance, Estinian is without. He, out of all warriors of Ishgard, has chosen to wield the power of dragons, and may thus contend with any dragon. You flatter me overmuch. But you are the adventurer of whom they spoke. I see now why my blood fair sang in anticipation of our meeting. Well, now that we have all been introduced, let's proceed to the matter at hand. I would share with you that we have learned of Iceheart's design, as confessed by the heretics taken captive after the assault of the gates. It seemed that Lady Iceheart and the Dravanian share a common goal, the reclamation of Nidhogg's stolen eye. Nidhogg, one of the 7 great worms. His name features prominently in your nation's history. Though once defeated by the hero Haldrath, the beast is said to have terrorized Kurtis since Ishgard's founding. Many are the scars our walls bear from Nidhogg's relentless efforts to raise the city. The trophy Haldrath plucked from the beast's worm's skull, known simply as the Eye, is a treasured relic of Ishgard, and one possessed of untold power. Should it ever be returned to Nidhogg, the dread creature will be restored to the height of his strength, and then no wall or ward we could erect would be stout enough to deny him. My vengeful son have waged war against Ishgard for 1,000 years. No mortal mind could comprehend the depths of his rancor. The eye itself is secreted deep within the vaults. It is kept under heavy guard, surrounded at all times by men and women who have proven their loyalty to the Holy See. But though stout walls and sharp blades may suffice to discourage the heretics, the dragons are another matter. There are individuals within the Gervanian horde whom an entire company of knights would labor to repel, to say nothing of Nidhogg himself. Nor does age rob them of their strength. Though the endless march of years, the dragons endure, patient, calculated, inexorable. You must understand, these creatures do not share our perception of time. And that's especially true of the great worms. They who spend centuries in slumber, only to wake and resume their campaign as if mere hours had passed. It has been 20 years since Nidhogg last darkened our skies. 20 years for him to gather his strength, and for us to bolster our defenses. And now, just as he seemed primed to return, the heretics strike at the gates. You believe that Lady Iceheart is in league with the creature, then? Of that we cannot be certain, though we know the heretics covet the eye. We have been unable to determine their plans. Such questions aside, we must needs address the ragged fool their mistress has seen fit to rend in Ishgard's protection. It is a weakness the Gervanians are not like to leave untested. So it would seem, you have described your plight in admirable detail, Lord Commander, yet I cannot help but wonder at your candor. Why share such sensitive information with us? I shall speak plain. Ishgard has needs of allies, and I would have you bolster our front lines in readiness for the coming battle against the dragons. This much I expected. Unlike our arrangement concerning the Keeper of the Lake, however, only you stand to benefit from our assistance in the matter. I fail to see why we should intervene in a conflict which concerns only Ishgard and Gervania. When the Orison Alliance requested Ishgard's assistance during Operation Archon, you refused us. Does it not seem grossly unjust to demand that we now risk our lives in your private war? I make no attempt to defend my country's conduct. I only ask that you consider what would follow were Ishgard to fall. Having razed our city to the ground, the horde would have little cause to linger, and most would return to their lairs in Gervania. Soon thereafter, the ruins of Curtis would be buried in snow, and the land would become the sole province in Beeson. Until the Garleans arrive, that is. Or you may be certain that the Empire would not hesitate to claim Curthis. They would not even have to draw steel. An imperial province sharing a border with Mordona. 7 hells. Ahem. Very well, we will assist you in repelling the dragons. The roar of a great worm may have shaken the firmament, but we of Eorze will not abandon our Ishgardian brothers to face the coming horde. Nor did I ever think you. Now, upon the matter of the roar, allow me, Sir Amerk. Through the power of the eye, I have become the vessel of Nidhogg's strength. His essence has stolen into my very blood. Fear not, I am in full control of my faculty, I assure you, and I itself is of no relevance to this tale. It is not essential that I bear it with me, wherever so I go. Its lingering influence does, however, allow me to hear Nidhogg's voice. Then the worm who roared was Nidhogg. Aye, he means to hurl his horde against Danifen's collar. and shatter the remaining wards that protect the city. There can be no doubt the worm has summoned his minions to war. Though the circumstances are far from ideal, this desperate endeavor will at least provide us an opportunity to bring the sister states of Eorzea together in a common cause. Sir Aymeric was more ruthless in negotiations than I had anticipated. I suppose one must give no quarter when one's home is at stake. But did you see the look at on his face when he formally requested our assistance? The Lord Commander has long campaigned for Ishgard to open its gates to outsiders. I suspect the softening of the Holy See's attitude toward foreign cooperation comes as something of a bittersweet victory. The days ahead promise to be interesting. If we are to aid the Ishgardians in this war of theirs, preparations will have to be made soon. Before proceeding, however, we must needs return to the Rising Stones and make a report to the antecedent.
Alphino, it is good to see you. Tell me, what have you learned?
Pray summon the others. Everyone must hear my report.
So this was all but a taste of what's to come.
Indeed. The main host advances upon Ishgard as we speak.
Whose vaunted defenses have been nullified.
Shorn of its wards, the city will bear the full force of Nidhogg's fury.
All those people.
Alphino is right. The Dravanians cannot be allowed to prevail. If Ishgard falls, all of Eorzea will suffer the consequences.
Then you agree that we have no choice but to intervene. For the good of the realm, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn and the Crystal Braves must join the defense of Ishgard.
Let there be no ambiguity about what has been proposed. We would be directly intervening in the war. But if all here believe the cause to be just, then to war we shall go. The path we now embark upon is perilous, but I pray you will walk with us to the end. For those we have lost, for those we can yet save.
Ah, the memorable line.
Then it is settled. I shall inform the Council of our intentions and request that they contribute their own forces to the defense of Ishgard.
real suspicion rises. I bid the Archons travel to their assigned nation. Should a member of the Alliance agree to plead Grand Company soldiers for the Ishgard's cause, our comrades will be on hand to act as for the duration of the conflict. The small matter of persuading the Alliance leaders to grant such support, I leave to Alphino. For you, my friend, a different task awaits. But have you reach out to your fellow adventurer, gather what ally for the coming siege. I would also have you consider the matter of your own security. Revenant's Toll is but a short flight from the snow fields of Curtis. It is not unimaginable that the fighting may spill across the border. For a brief, Slaffborn on the brewing conflict discuss potential conditions. The frontier settlers must be prepared for aught that might sting it for our walls. I only hope that such precautions prove unnecessary. Before you leave, might I suggest that you have Tataro accompany you? He has a talent for administration and a firm grasp of the practical challenges we encounter. We are rather close to Curtis, aren't we? We best see to our own defenses and take stock of our supplies. Oh, and we'll need to also have beds and bandages laid out just in case. A good receptionist is ready for any eventuality. Let's go, Hikaru. I have 101 things to discuss with Slaffborn. Oh my goodness, my allergies are killing me. I appreciate the warning. If war is coming to Curtis, then the toll must be made ready. I'll increase the number of patrols and lookouts immediately. I'll also see about finding room for an infirmary, as well as a temporary housing for victims of the conflict. Ishgard has done well by us in the past and I return the favor. As for rounding up volunteers for the fighting itself, I'm afraid I must disappoint you. I will not send my fellow guild members to die on Ishgardian soil, and I'm certain headquarters will say the same. There will be no official Adventurers Guild presence at the siege. That said, each adventurer is of course free to do as he or she. I shall have word with some of my more capable colleagues on your behalf. You might try your luck here in Revenant's Toll. I dare say there are a few stout souls about town who will answer your call to arms. Let's get started, shall we? We have a town to rouse. Oh. Hi. Spare me your talks of glory and fame. I'm not in the habit of volunteering for lost causes. I survived this long by trusting my instinct, and my instincts tell me to stay away from Ishgard. Ishgard sounds like she's in a right mess, but that ain't what I wanted to talk to you. I need you to cast your mind back to the scuffle of the Empire out by the processing plant. A lad from Little Alamigo by the name of Wildred was there with the fourth that day, and I want to know if you've seen him since. Have you? Gods damn it. I feared as much. No one's bloody seen him. It's like the ground opened up and swallowed him whole. But that ain't all. Around the time Wildred stopped turning up for duty, then black market weapons went missing from our vault in Ul'dah. So now, of course, half the Braves suspect the lad of making off with the goods. Folk like to believe our company is a disciplined fighting force. But as you and me both know, it's no more than a motley collection of mercenaries, adventurers, and Grand Company veterans. The only thing that binds us together is some vague oath about fighting for the freedom of all. That and the steady pay. Now compared to the most others in this crew, Wilred's a fresh-faced novice, a bleeding whelp amongst wolves. But the boy's got passion. When he talked about being guardian of Eorzea, he bloody well meant it. A lad like him wouldn't rob us blind and bugger off like that. He ain't the type. And this is just between you and me, mind. There's the fact that the lad wanted to tell me about something queer he'd noticed in the ledgers. Something about the Braves' numbers not adding up. Aye, there's a villain at the end of this trail I've stumbled upon. And I'll bet me good eye it ain't young Wilred. Any road, we've got a war to wage, so I'll let ye get on. I just thought someone should know. I'll be seeing ye, Hikar. Telling you Riol is a good. So Ishgard seeks sell swords to bolster its rank, eh? But I'm not sure I like the sound of the siege. Those nobles will surely be generous with rewards. But I pledge myself to guard Revenant's door. Modest work though it is, I am loath to break the terms of my contract. What to do? Sell me blade to the Ishgardians. Well, them dragons are a fearsome lot. I'd say me fair share if the coin was good. I've worked for one of them knights before, you know. Watch me like a bloody hawk, he did. Still, I put up with worse than that for a heavy purse. Volunteer my services in the defense of Ishgard? I think not. Dragons claim the lives of every one of my brothers. I do not mean to offer them mine. It was to escape such fate that I took up the mantle of adventurer in the first place. I would sooner die in the pursuit of fortune than huddled behind. There you are, Hikaru. Did you sway any hearts? One or two, eh? Well, added to mine, that'll make 3 or 4. Not including Slavborn's friends. We won't have the largest company in the army, but I'd say one Revenant School veteran is worth a dozen clanking knights at least. Well, I've been so caught up with recruiting that I almost forgot there's been word from Alphino. Apparently, the Alliance leaders are convening in Ul'dah to discuss the fight. They've requested your presence. Anyway, you best make your way to Ul'dah, or you'll be late. Alphino said that he would meet you at the Royal Promenade. Why do they want us for political talk? Never understood why they want us. Talks. Well, I know why. Game design wise. Story wise, it doesn't really make sense. I'm not a politician, so stake in this. My apologies for calling away from your tasks. I had hoped to proceed with these negotiations one later at a time, but it seems my urgent requests for an audience have prompted a gathering of the council. Needless to say, I feel obligated to attend. The Alliance leaders are already settled within. Let's join them, shall we?
We are well aware of Ishgard's dilemma, and we agree with your assessment.
Then I trust there are no objections to the Crystal Braves' intervention.
Uldar has none.
Gridania does not object.
The Crystal Braves are yours to command, Alphino. Do what you will. We shall pray for your success.
It was my hope that you would offer more substantial aid than prayer. I know it is within your means.
Do not presume that you have knowledge of our every concern. The Garleans and the Beast Tribes are but two of many. We are not in a position to contribute greatly to the defense of Ishgard, not when our own homes are still under siege.
We dare not leave our interests in Cartano undefended as well. Telegi Adalegi and his ilk would seize control of the territories in our absence.
The enemy is at their gates, and you would cower behind yours?
No one is cowering, boy. We will offer what support we can.
Aye, support. A handful of men and no more.
Would that we could commit more than a token force to this cause. Yet there are others to whom you might turn. The free companies ever want for work.
Ah, yes. The free companies. They're not like to turn you down.
I beg your pardon? You would entrust the survival of Ishgard to sell swords? Crises like these are the very reason why this alliance was formed. It is our duty to aid our fellow man.
My duty is to my country and my people. If you expect us to place the welfare of a foreign power above our own, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Lest you doubt, Limsa comes first, then the Alliance, and finally, circumstances permitting, Ishgard and the rest. If you cannot understand so simple a concept, then you have no place at this table.
Forgive me, Admiral. I was careless in my choice of words.
I suggest you assemble a party of elite adventurers, assuming you haven't already. Your fellows served us well during Operation Archon. I dare say they will do so again.
Back when Steps of Faith was a trial.
If I may, Your Grace, I wish to propose a redistribution of forces. If we entrust the security of Uldar to the Brass Blades for a time, we can dispatch a larger force to Ishgard. Your Grace?
Yes. Yes, of course. Do what you will.
Is Her Grace not feeling well?
To the best of my knowledge, Her Grace is in perfect health.
I see. Carry on.
We're the last one to leave. Once again, I owe you an apology. It seems you have been conscripted into leading a contingent of adventurers on yet another mission of inestimable danger. I fear we have been left with little alternative. We cannot well abandon Lord Harsherfont and Sir Aymeric to their fates. We must abide to the Council's decision, as short-sighted as it is, and strive to fulfill our roles as Eorzea's guardian. Captain Ilbert, on news. Then the assault is begun. We have but this moment concluded our audience with the Alliance leaders. Move our forces into position. Your unit will join House Durndare at the Steel Vigil. Man the cannons alongside the knights, and thin the Dravanian horde ere they descend upon Ishgard. I will join you as soon as I am able. Hikaru, would have you and your adventurers allies bolster the defenses at the Steps of Faith. Report first to Sir Marceline at the Gates of Judgment, and he will direct you to where you are needed most. May the gods grant us victory. Yeah, Steps of Faith used to be a trial. So that's why the Alliance leaders set to get a group of elite adventurers. As their way of saying, hey, give me a trial. Go get them. But they put it into a lore perspective. It was changed to a duty instance. This expansion. In her. You're appointed captain of the Sellsword contingent. Then, welcome. There's no shortage of blade work to be done. As we speak, Travanian skirmishing parties are harrying positions across the Central Highline. I've assigned Crystal Braves and your fellow adventurer to contain these scattered attacks, and for the present I would have you join them. This is, of course, merely a precursor to the assault on Ishgard proper. The wily serpent seeks to divide and confuse our forces, but we will not be so easily drawn out of position. The Temple Knights will remain on the Steps of Faith and continue our preparations. When the Horde arrives in force, they shall face a wall of Ishgardian steel. Report back to me once their advanced skirmishers are slain. Oh, my allergies are kicking my ass. They really are. Provident coin. So generally what happens with expansion and like post-patch expansion, generally what they do is they dedicate 3 patches to post-story, the set expansion. Up until about 0.3, 2.3, 4.3, 5.3. It's generally dedicated toward continuation of the any loose ends they might have had, storytelling wise. And then the patches afterwards, so the 0.4, 5, and if they decide to add a 5.5 or whatever, those patches are dedicated towards setting up. We're currently near the end of ARR's patch. That's why we have a lot of Curtis quests, Dragon quests, stuff like that. Set up for heavens. Their expansion. Their conflict. Learn a bit about it. When you use adventure, the reinforcements. Decimated, you say. Gervanian devils. Damn their scaly guides. Hold fast your grief and fury, my lady. You'll avenge the depths of your fellows in the battle to come. Depths of faith. Ere you commit yourself to the siege, you should know what it is you are tasked with defending. Beyond the gates of judgment lie the steps of faith, a great bridge of stone that leads directly to the city of Ishgard. More than simply a mean to cross the Sea of Clouds, the bridge serves as a foundation for the arcane wards that form the barrier we call Danif's Collar. Alas, in dispelling the barrier's outermost layer, the thrice-damned witch Iceheart stripped the bridge of its protection, and thus are the dragons now able to land unhindered upon the steps of faith. Should the Gervanians succeed in destroying the remainder of the wards, the winged devils will be free to swarm within the city itself. Needless to say, we cannot suffer that to happen. It shall be our task as defenders to prevent any harm from coming to those parts of the bridge wherein the words are sealed. 3 yet remain, and we have dispatched our forces accordingly. Would ask you and your comrades to accompany our defenders to the outermost ward. I should hope that includes us as well, yes? The Scions of the 7th Dawn. We cannot stand idly by while the Horde rends the good people of Ishgard. Indeed, to do otherwise would go against all Master Louis has taught us. As for where we may be of most assistance, I think it prudent we divide into 2 groups. Eden and I will join the rear guard. Right, if the dragons should reach us, we'll be sure to give them what for. Thank you, all of you. Pray speak with me again when your preparations are, and together we shall stand against the horde. Alright, head into it. I trust you're ready then. Good. Come, let's make for the battlefield.
This quickly, shall we?
I shall make it quick.
Oops. Three got it. Can use them.
Ether, to me.
I was gonna say, it's a shame you can't use them as a gap closer. Okay. think I can't count. Funny.
No holding back.
No, this one does still do the same move. 5 to his left.
This one will stay.
Ow. What are wards made of, bro? They just like get broken down after one fire, bro. You think they put a Estinian up farther up north? But they don't.
Know your folly.
For the first time, it didn't die after one flame, bro. Impressive. Make mega wings. Big wings. Where's my crits? Where's my chakra? I critted, I didn't get chakra. This game. We lost adventure. They got burned a lot. It's truly a shame. The dragons, they're withdrawing. Victory is ours. Heck is that guy? One of Nidhogg's greatest champions, slain. The Horde will not soon recover from this blow. But what of you, Nidhogg? Why did you not join your minions and make of this battle a slaughter? Have you grown so fond of the stench of your own? Mayhap you prefer to have your allies fight your battles for you. You have a girl to do your bidding now, do you not? No matter, I shall slay Iceheart and all the rest. I yearn to spill the blood of the great worm, Nidhogg. And only your death will sate my lance. It's a rare opportunity to find oneself confronted with such a terrible foe. Rarer still to emerge victorious. I should hope we need not contend with more of Nidhogg's champions. Whew, that was exhausting. It was a close victory, but a victory nonetheless. I think we have earned a brief respite. The famed dragoons of Ishgard commanding the skies of a battle was truly a sight to behold. Hikaru, the dragons are routed. Lest you wonder, the fighting at the Steel Vigil was also fierce. My crystal braves were not found wanting. Commander Levier, Hikaru, true to your word, you arrived to aid us in our hour of need. On behalf of the Holy See and the people of Ishgard, I offer you my humble thanks. Though I would stay and lavish you with well-deserved praise, I fear I must away to oversee the aftermath of the siege. Not all the dragons are fled, and there are yet wounded to be carried from the field. Pray let us meet anon, that I might express my thanks with proper courtesy. We have indeed achieved a victory of singular importance. With the Dravanian horde thus weakened and scattered, the threat to Ishgard has greatly diminished. And mayhap equally significant, the Holy See must now recognize the necessity of cooperation with powers. Long have they barred their gates against the outside world. I am confident that the day will soon come when Ishgard proclaims itself a member of the Eorzean Alliance North. Much have we sacrificed in our struggles against dragons and primals, the Ascians and Empire, but step by unfaltering step, we march ever nearer to our goal. And as ever, the journey is made with you in the van. The victory you have won this day gives us greater hope for tomorrow. It is a hope that shall sustain us in the days to come, and bear us past the many evils that yet seek to hinder our progress. Yes, we have done well, my friend, and I, for one, would take a moment to savor the enormity of our achievements. The demands of duty, however, allow me little time for levity. I must accompany Captain Ilbert back to Ul'dah and reassign those braves whose squad suffered heavy losses. You, my friend, have earned a rest at the Rising Stones. Pray return to Revenant's Soul and share your tale with Minfilia in person. We will see to informing the other nations of what took place here. Do be sure to give our regards to Minfilia. Or Hex Mortona. That's under other. Gameplay, it's not our job to do all that. Very empty about the Scions, huh? Very, very empty place. Hikaru, welcome back. Alphino sent word of the siege, and of course of the role you played in ending it. Your deeds never cease to amaze me, Hikaru. Thank you. You must be weary, Hikaru, and now may very well be your only chance to. Antecedent. A messenger from Ul'dah arrived with a missive for you. The royal seal. Curious indeed. An invitation. On behalf of the Council of Eorzean Alliance, Her Royal Majesty Nanamo Ul'Namo invites the Scions of the Seventh Dawn to attend a feast at the Palace of Ul'Dah in honor of Ishgard's recent victory. It would seem we are to be recognized for our part in lifting the siege. You for your valiant efforts as commander of the adventurers' contingent, and the Archons for their earnest attempts to rouse the city-states. Truly, I find it strange that the Alliance leaders should think themselves deserving a place at such a celebration. All three refused to deploy their standing armies, preferring to send hastily assembled companies of sellswords, many of whom perished ere the siege began. Are they truly so brazen as to seek to share in the glory of your triumph? But mayhap they simply seek a pretext to meet with the Ishgardians while the mood is yet jubilant. Such an occasion would present a fine opportunity to press for Ishgard's return to the Eorzean Alliance. We have scarce had time to mourn Moonbreeda, and I, for one, am in no mood to carouse. I suppose we must put away our grief for the good of the realm. Though you are promised rest, I fear I must insist that you also attend. It would be strange celebration indeed if the victorious hero were not present. Pray content yourself with the thought that such occasion may bring about momentous change, and this without recourse to bloodshed. Nataru, if you would do me the favor of contacting the rest of the Scions. Of course, antecedent. And please let me know if there's anything else I can do. Curious. I have never known Tataru to sigh at such requests. Cannot be amiss. Oh, Tataru's gone. Tataru. Everyone else is back. Tataru is conspicuous by her absence. Tataru, I believe she just stepped outside. Now that I think about it, she did seem rather preoccupied. Have you witnessed the scene over yonder? Such is the fate of he who would toy with woman's heart. Let's see how Tancred's silver tongue wags its way out of this one. Happening there. In Doma, fidelity is a high-prized virtue. Perhaps it is a difference in culture, but this situation lies outside my comprehension. My primal shackles its faith with bonds of eternal devotion. I fear the power Tancred wields over his admirers is more than fickle. Especially when each realizes she is not the sole object of his affection. Do we not have more pressing matters to attend to? Oh god, make it stop. My sides are about to burst. Oh. Why don't we leave these others wobbling? What are they saying? Oh. Ladies, please, there's no way to... Oh, hello, Hikaru. I was just, entertaining some friends. Oh god. Oh. Yeah, that's your problem. Look. You reap what you sow. Your problem, number. Guitar. Wonder. Oh, Hikaru, it's you. I didn't mean to worry anyone. It's nothing, really. Well, it's not nothing exactly. But it feels like nothing compared to the towering trials you and the others face every day. And that's why I should probably talk to Philly before things get any worse. You always know what to say, Hikaru. I'm glad we had this little chat. But we don't say anything. We don't talk. I'm all convinced we're mute. I'm very, very well convinced we're mute. We speak telepathically to them. Because we don't talk. I've never heard them talk. Yes, Satara, you have my undivided attention. I've been hesitant to broach the subject, what with all the recent excitement, but Hikaru made me realize that there's no time like the present. The time is what I'm here to ask you for. I'm not sure I understand. If you wish to be excused from your duty for a time, then you have certainly earned rest. But I suspect that lying abed is far from your intent. You know me too well, antecedent. There is in fact something I've been wanting to try my hand at. Along with the adventurers and the Crystal Braves, the Scions are constantly being thrown into dangerous battles and being deadly predicaments. Even Hori, Boulder, and settlement have been promoted from guard duty to fill our need for competent warriors. And so it seems only right that I too should acquire the power to defend myself, and others, more importantly. When I return, I shall be both your receptionist and your bodyguard. Whoa, hey. That's the first time I've almost been knocked to the ground by a Lalafell. I've never seen Mr. Taro so determined. As aught befell with which I might help, NTC. Not at present, thank you. Was there something you would ask of me? Ah yes, pray excuse my distraction. An adventurer who was to join us for escort duty was injured while out on patrol. And I fear we cannot properly defend the scholars entrusted to our protection without the aid of at least one more guard. Therefore, I humbly request that another adventurer of the capable kind, of course, be assigned to our party. Very well, I should consider the potential candidates and provide you with a replacement as soon as I am able. My thanks, antecedent. I take my leave of you. Well, here comes the Taru's little fun. The power to defend oneself. The Taru has ever been full of surprises. Now that I think on it, I do recall Ryonjie mentioning that she had developed an interest in Arcanima. Mayhaps she hopes to gain admittance to our Arcanist Guild in Limsalem. Yes, that'll be the way of it. Would be so kind as to journey to the guild and see that all is well. It is doubtlessly unwarranted, but surely I am not alone in my concern for her safety. I wonder, do you perchance recall the commitment I made to furnish Hoary Boulder of a capable adventurer? Well, I'm sorry to say that I have as yet been unable to do so. I realize that you are rather more than a capable adventurer, and that escort duty is frankly beneath a woman of your talents, but I have no one else to turn to at present. Might you be willing to forego rest and assist us in this matter? Generous to a fault. I thank you, Hikaru. Now it seems only fair that I explain the import of the task in question. For some time, our order has employed a handful of scholars to travel around Eorzea, taking etheric readings that we might better understand the impact of primal summonings. Naturally, it behooves us to ensure our employees' safety, so we ask the adventurers in our service to serve as escorts. Hoary Boulder and Quiltonet were to act as two such escorts, as was the third adventurer. Alas, due to an injury, that said adventurer is not presently fit for duty. Hence my need to impose upon your goodwill. You truly are a pillar of strength, Hikaru. Hoary Boulder will share with you the details of your be waiting for you outside. Be safe. First time the MSQ branches into two different paths. They all lead to the same destination. Two actual MSQs at the same point, essentially. Ah, Hikaru, is it true that you agreed to lend us a hand? Huzzah! What I tell you, Quiltonet, our misfortune is becoming a blessing, an opportunity to serve alongside the Warrior of Light herself. Need I remind you that we have 3 scholars to escort, each of whom will take a different route? True, but our mission is the same. Separated by bombs we may be, but in spirit we shall be together. If such thoughts bring you joy, then you are welcome to think them. More practical concerns. Hikaru, we will have you attend to the scholar charged for surveying the South Shroud. He's waiting in Camp Tranquil as you. All you need to do is follow the man and he will determine the most appropriate locations to take his readings. In spirit, Hikaru. In spirit, we shall be together every step of the way. Off to Camp Tranquil. At last, the Science woman deigned to grace me with her presence. A pity that we have no time for pleasantries. Our first destination is Issamhar. We are late enough as it is. I think we don't have to actually escort. Yes, this location should suffice. Once I calibrate my instruments, I will require but a moment to take the necessary measurements. I trust I will not need to explain that my work can suffer no interruptions. Please stand at appropriate distance and keep watch for wild beasts. I see we have both completed our respective tasks, a satisfactory outcome. So if I can make one suggestion, you might try to dispatch your foes more quietly in the future. I do not like to pick faults, but I really must be allowed to concentrate. Now then, sneak Molter waits, shall we? How the heck do you want me to kill things quieter? Picky fellow, aren't you? Very picky. Right about here, yes. As before, I would ask you that you keep an eye out for dangerous beasts. Fascinating. These readings are not at all what I expected. But perhaps that should come as no surprise. I'm not given to superstition. This is queer, almost blasphemous air hereabouts. Let us quit this place and return to Root Lake. We have one more site to survey. Why did they start with there? You would think you started a place closest to you first. Or up here, then here, and up here. That doesn't make too much sense. It's what it is. As before, my guardian, pray lead me to my task and for our safety. This data should prove invaluable to eat gods. What is that stench? Did you slaughter a creep without a mantoise when my back was turned? Quickly now, to Camp Tranquil. I will not have my clothing reek blood and oil. I don't know what these things are, to be honest. You chose to paddle in the Ichor a while longer. I take it. No matter. I took advantages of my unexpected privacy and performed a cursory analysis of my data. It would appear that there has been a measurable decrease in Mercia's ambient aether concentrations and calamity. However, this data is far from conclusive. I must take additional measures to confirm my assessment. For our next survey, I would have you escort me to Earth's front. The ambient aether concentrations there are so high that crystalline structures form spontaneously. Consequently, an anomalous fluctuation should be easier to detect. Brilliant, yes? No, don't bother answering. That was rhetorical. Now come along. Seems being a bodyguard to scholars has all been condescending. Eric was like that with the monk job quest, like that. Very interesting statement they're calling. Painting, let's call. You should be more than familiar with the procedure by now. Pray find a suitable position from which to keep watch while I take measurements. Enemies this time. Yes, quite high. It's still markedly lower than the historical measurement taken near the end of the 6th astral era. Could the presence of a primal account for the difference? Or is there something else? Okay, so my PC blue screen turned cutscene. So that is interesting. Back. Never had my PC blue screen like that before. Or blue screen. Hopefully we're okay this time around. Something else. Scion, come here. I need you. Fear not, my friends. Help has arrived. There you are, Hikaru. Ori and I were worried when you and your charge failed to return at the appointed hour. Gutted like a hog, but not by one. No, these wounds were made with a blade. Doesn't look like he put up much of a fight either. Nary a mark on his sword or his shield. I've heard nothing of any Crystal Braves operations in the area. What cause had Woolred to come here? What should we do? We will see to the scholar's protection, Hikaru. Aye, and the boys remain. You should return to the Rising Stones. The Anti-Saint will want to know what happened here. And so do I. Okay. We'll continue the other part of the MSQ. I forgot they're all the way. Hikaru, what are you doing here? I didn't mean for her to worry. That's the last thing I wanted. Putting an end to such worries is precisely the reason I'm here, don't you see? I, Taru, have become a great and powerful arcanist. And now at Mistress Games? Behest? I must go and complete a special training exercise. Until we meet again. However you pronounce that name. Dobriki? Maybe? Regardless. A difficult name. Greetings and welcome to the Arcanist Guild. Do you require assistance? So you're acquainted with our newest member. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I fear young Tataru may not be ideally suited to the study of Arcanema. Nevertheless, she would not be denied, and goes now to undertake her first trial. A simulated inspection of 3 crates. A simple task, some might say, but one all Arcanists are expected to complete. A thought occurs to me. Why not supervise Tataru's training? You're clearly an accomplished adventurer, and given your relationship with the girl, you seem an ideal person to have on hand. Her trial will be conducted at the cliffs south at the Zephyr Gate. You need only observe at a distance. Tataru anyways. Supposed to be down here. Over Azure seas to Pirate's Port, where she meet her shiny. For to bring the smuggler's plan to naught came the last none could fool. Beat him with backdraft, gut him with a gust, deck him with a downburst. Full carbuncle go. Are those crates I spy? Oh, and this must be the true test. We're ready for them, aren't we, Carbuncle? Oh. Carbuncle ran away. Carbuncle? It ran away. Come back, Carbuncle, come back. Well. The little rat ran away. I should have known you'd come, Hikaru. You needn't say a word. Your face says it all. I know you bore witness to my shame. Betrayed by my own carbuncle and left to the mercy of wild beasts. I must accept the truth. I'll never be a warrior like you or the others. I will inform Mistress, whatever her name is, of my intention to withdraw from the guild. Arcanema, like so much else, beyond me. Not everyone is fit out to be an adventurer, would seem. Go back to the Arcanist. Wonder what the heck caused my computer to quite peculiar. Ah, back so soon. How fared our fledgling Arcanist? Abysmally, Mistress Stalbergame. Abysmally, as Hikaru will testify. I was wrong to become Arcanist. Wrong as usual. I'm completely and utterly unqualified, and I sincerely apologize for wasting your time. Kotaro, if that were true, I would not have permitted you to join in the first place. We must all come to accept our limitations, lest our ambitions lead us astray. However, we must not lose sight of our strengths in the process. For example, your exceptional skills with numbers helped you gain a solid grasp of the fundamentals of Arcanema. Were it not so, you would have struggled to even summon Carbuncle to your side. In my opinion, the Scions are truly fortunate to have such a capable and good-natured receptionist service. Would you not agree? You are too kind, Mistress Stalbergy. If I cannot overcome this challenge, I shall take your word to heart and try not to be. As fetching as these garments are, I fear I shall never don them again. But I can't go back to the Rising Stones without something to show for my time away. Wait, I know what I can do. That is, if you don't mind accompanying her a little longer. Wonderful, then Costa del Sol we will go. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm confident it will pay off. Costa del Sol. The only peak location in the game. For some reason. Yes, this is it. This is where the man at the Drowning Wench told me to look. There's certainly a variety of clam which can be harvested this time of year in Bloodshore, one which produces the most marvelous pearls. However, these clams are also coveted by certain wild creatures, and since I fared rather poorly in battle last time, let's be off. What fortune, I've already found one. Would you be so kind to keep watch while I work? This should only take a moment. Gosh, this thing was far. one tanky boss. Or monster. Well fought, Hikaru. Well fought. I knew I was right to ask you to come. As for me, I have my prize. A bounty of blood pearls. Though named for their reddish hue, they were treasured as wards against dark magic times. I thought I might make charms for everyone, so that no matter where they go, they will always come home. It's sort of a power to defend myself and other people. In a way, right? Well, I mustn't keep Philomene waiting. There's work to be done, lots of it. We're to secure provisions for the Scions and Lominson markets. You may have an eye for quality, but have a nose for bargains. Will you be heading back to the Rising Stones? If so, pray convey my apologies to the antecedent and tell her that she needn't worry about me. Farewell, Hikaru, and thank you for everything. That sounded rather final, didn't it? How about until we meet again? Back to the Rising Stones. Welcome home, Hikaru. I gather you found Tataru and Limsa Lominsa. Why, it sounds as though she had quite an adventure, and while it did not end as she had hoped, I suspect that it will prove to be a valuable experience. I dare say she could have managed without her intervention. Even so, I appreciate you indulging my request. You returned and you seem troubled. The role of escort chief, so... Wilred, dead. Mayhap murdered. By the 12, how can that be? I will send word to Alphino at once. He will want to conduct a full investigation, and send word to Wilred's family. Gods, he was just a boy. Who would do this, and why? Though recent events weigh heavily on our mind, we must needs set them aside for now. We're coming to a defining moment in the Eorzean history. The grand commemoration of our joint defense of Ishgard. For the first time in 15 years, our people have stood side by side with our neighbor to the north to fight in a common cause. This may mark the true rebirth of the Eorzean Alliance. Failing that, it should at the very least serve to bring our nations closer together. We have every reason to raise our voices in celebration, do we not? We have bested Dravanians and Ascians both. Against desperate odds, we have fought it. But the primals still plague us, and the Empire still plots our subjugation. And our triumphs, remarkably though they are, were bought at a terrible price. Brave adventurers and allies broke in on the steps of faith. And before our eyes in this very room, our dear friend Moonbreda. This is the victory we have wrought, and it is as bitter ashes in my mouth. I would sooner stay here and invite those with more appetite to enjoy the feast in my stead. Alas, it is a royal banquet, and all our allies will be in attendance. It is our duty to present a united front, that we may serve as a beacon of hope to. It seems I have no choice but to take my own advice. I instructed the others to meet us in Ul'dah, and we might make our grand entry together. Unfortunately, I had to settle for leaving Tataro and Lamine a note. If they do not return quickly, they will have to settle for whatever leftovers I can smuggle out of the fragrant chamber. Off to the big soiree, or raise a glass for me, eh? Or not. You don't look best pleased, lass. Something on your mind. By the navigator. Wilred's dead. God damn it. They must have known they'd been rumbled. Spotted. This past time we had this talk. After our last conversation, I got to thinking about where certain funds were coming from. So I had to dig around, on the quiet. And sure enough, I found it. Seems a fair bit of coin made its way into the Braves' coffer, courtesy of Dodo Consort. A daft name for a business if I ever heard one. Which is what first gave me an inkling so that something weren't right. So I went through the ledgers again and found another half a dozen donations from organizations with bloody stupid names. It didn't take long to find the common thread. All were owned by the Mirage Trust. Oh, and I'll give the bastard credit. He showed us up for the amateurs we are. Short of calling one of his businesses the Bloody Bribery Consortium. I don't know what more he could have done to mock our rules on financial contribution. The gods only know how many men of first and third are taking Telegi's coin. But now we know, as some of them are, and wager me right eye they're the ones what did for Wilred. The earnest young fool had taken to asking the wrong kind of questions, bound to attract attention. He should have seen it at the time, but I didn't. God stab me. Still, I don't see what Telegi hopes to accomplish. He hid his scheme with all the care of a drunk pissing into the wind. No, he's cleverer than this. So we need to be clever too. That's the only way we'll ever repay this debt of blood. We'll purge every one of them traitorous bastards from our ranks. On that, you have me word. Ah, Hikaru. Mind yourself when you're in Ul'dah, eh? We're heading into a storm. I can smell it. The kind what'll sweep a man overboard and drag him under before he knows it. Oh, looks like Telegi has infiltrated the Crystal Braves. If I did not know better, I should think our bard had run afoul of another giant lover. Is that? No, just my imagination. Oh, pay no attention to me. 'Tis a habit from my misspent youth, looking over my shoulder from time to time. What the heck is he looking at? The banquet, so there'll definitely be food, but will there also be dancing? And if there is, will it be before or after the food? Dancing on a full stomach's no fun, but neither is being hungry. What to do? I do hope Ida is not under the impression that we're here to make merry. We are ostensibly by the antecedents escort, after all. We have been waiting for you, Hikaru. The celebration is due to begin shortly. I had hoped that we might make our introductions together, but Mistress Momodi had just sent the word that you are needed at the quicksand. We will go on ahead, Hikaru. Pray join us once manners at the quicksand are told. Give my regards to Momodi, and let her know that I will call upon her anon. Off to the quicksands. I appreciate you dropping in on such a short notice, Hikaru. I know you got places to be, so I won't waste your time. You're friends with the Crystal Brave by the name of Alianne, aren't you? Former adventurer. Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure you recruited her yourself. Well, anyway, she came around for a meal not long ago. Before she left, she asked me to give you a message. Said if others ended up dragging you to the feast, I was to see you got it before you made it to your grand entrance. Meet me at the station west of the Coffer and Coffin. There's something I must show you. A short message, I'll grant you, but she thought long and hard before picking those words. Barely touched her food, too. Under other circumstances, I'd have thought those signs of a troubled heart. But something tells me she ain't planning to ask your thoughts on a gentleman caller. As you stand upon the platform, your thoughts begin to wander, and all too soon, ghosts of the comrades lost and enemies slain before begin to file by your mind's eye in solemn procession. Clearing your head, you scan the horizon but see no sign of Alianne. Straining your ears to listen, you hear a chatter of Kikrin and a buzzing of sylphrids, but no approaching footfall. Sighing, you bow your head, only to notice the vial lying at your feet. Hikaru, is that you? What brings you out this way? Lieutenant Alianne? Why no, I haven't seen her about. Had she come this way, I guarantee we would have crossed paths. I must have passed the spot a dozen times. We're to patrol the city's environs on account of the royal banquet. Captain's orders, you understand. Speaking of which, isn't about to begin. Be with the other honored guests, enjoying your well-deserved respite. Pray return to Ulda, Hikaru. If I chance to meet the lieutenant, I will tell her you here. Don't trust the rat.
O Sultan Tree, hallowed spirit of my line. Through my weakness, the glorious house of Ul has all but disappeared beneath the sands. For want of the strength to raise it up again, it were better that it fall. Forgive me, but I know not what else to do.
I reckon you'd head straight to the feast after meeting with Alianne. What's the matter? No appetite? So she wasn't there, but this was, eh? Let's see. Looks to me like an alchemist file, but beyond that, I can't say. Might be best you hold on to it for safekeeping, though. Any road, no use worrying about Alianne. I'm sure she'll turn up before too long, and when she does, we'll soon find out what this was all in aid of. Besides, you got more important things to think about. Would you believe that while you were away, another message arrived for you? Well, one did. One delivered by the Sultana's handmaiden. Seems her grace desires a private audience. Her handmaiden will meet you on the royal promenade and escort you to the Sultana's chambers. So what are you waiting for? Go on then. Go.
You needn't trouble yourself so. Your grace is most kind, but it is no trouble to me, rather an honor. If your grace is ready, I shall summon the warrior of light. I am.
Everyone looks to be in high spirits.
With good cause.
A common victory may serve to unite even the most unlikely of allies. You've brought us one step closer to a united Eorzea.
Your modesty knows no bounds, Antecedent. Were it not for your efforts, Sir Emmerich would never have become such a steadfast ally. When he convinces his countrymen to rejoin the Alliance, we shall all reap the benefits, military and economic. I tell you, we are on the cusp of a new era of unity and prosperity. Territorial disputes are all that divide us now. But I have faith that we will find an amicable solution in time. And failing that, I'll have my trusty warrior of light box the ears of all concerned. Speaking of whom...
She will be joining us shortly. A matter at the quicksand required her attention, but it did not sound serious.
No. Man. It would have been faster for me to walk around. But I had to do it. Thank you for coming, madam. Her Grace is most eager to speak with you. If you require a moment to compose yourself before your audience, you may have it. Or if you are ready, it will be my honor to escort you to Her Grace's chamber forthwith. Upon proceeding to the Sultana's bedchamber, several cutscenes will play in sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Ah, the cutscenes.
Enter.
Your Grace, your guest has arrived.
Pray, come in and take your ease.
"'Tis well that the steps of faith held against the Horde.
And what of the city proper?
We sustained some few losses, but the heart of our nation yet beats with vigor. I am not certain I could say the same had we not received your most generous aid.
An attack on Ishgard is an attack on the realm. We stand together or fall divided.
Such noble words after the fact.
Not a wrong statement.
I had hoped to speak in the presence of Her Grace, but it seems she has been delayed. That being the case, now would seem as good a time as any. Honored friends, pray allow me to convey Ishgard's warmest gratitude for your part in the defense of our lands. "'Tis upon the success of this very alliance that my recommendation to throw open the gates of judgment shall be founded. With the blessing of the Archbishop, it is my hope that Ishgard will soon be reunited with her long-estranged sister nations, and that Eorzea shall once more be as one."
Very well.
Is aught amiss?
Nothing to worry about. I shall return anon. You wished a word, Yu Hase?
You may go. Your Grace. You must be curious as to the reason for this private audience. The matter I would discuss, however, will soon make apparent the need for discretion. I intend to abdicate the throne and dissolve the monarchy. You have seen for yourself the storm of turmoil that howls through our streets. The government fails in its responsibilities, and my subjects suffer the consequences of our incompetence. But I will see them suffer no longer. The victory feast shall provide the stage on which I declare the dissolution of the Sultanate. 'Tis mine intent that the ruling class of our golden city should take its place beside the common man in a fair and equitable republic. No more shall this nation bow to the whims of a privileged few. Yet, that which I propose will entail the tearing up of this city's very foundations. And even Roban, with all his strength and influence, will be hard-pressed to keep his footing on such treacherous ground. Thus would I ask you to lend him a steadying hand. You who have endured the wrath of innumerable foes are the one hero in whom I can place my trust. Will you do this thing for me? I am truly grateful. More grateful than I can well express. How much we have both changed since that day we met beneath the Sultan tree. And the days ahead promise to change us further still. I hope that we will recognize ourselves when all of this is over.
He has really good ears.
Your Grace! Her Grace, the Sultana, is dead. poison in her wine? You did this!
Spare us your denials! I see no other suspects, and the room has but the one entrance. I hereby accuse you of regicide. Men, arrest this viper.
Never understood why we don't just fight our way out of this one. Something I never understood.
Sir, barring a few exceptions, we have detained all those with allegiance to the Scions. The Rising Stones is also under our control.
And what do you hope to achieve with this mutiny?
Why, that which we have striven for all along, Commander. The salvation of Eorzea.
Many questions I don't understand of this cutscene in particular.
What is the meaning of this?
Knights from the homeland. This cannot bode well.
Lord Commander, we have received an urgent message from the Holy See. I am grieved to report that your serpentine foes have resumed their assault. Needless to say, your presence is urgently required. These knights have come to bear you swiftly home to Ishgard.
A surprise attack?
We've had no such word from our men, and the timing is most fortuitous to catch us away from the city.
Most fortuitous indeed.
Lord Commander, we must away.
You have been a most gracious host. I hope that I might one day return the favor. Come, Lucia.
Also unsure to why Ishgard had to leave.
Whatever is going on in there? Ah, the ever-dutiful brass blades. I must apologize, but my dance card is rather full. Another time, perhaps?
Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. You stand accused of committing acts of espionage in service to the Garlean Empire.
Espionage? What in the seven hells are you talking about? Ah. If you're referring to that business with the Ultima weapon, then you must understand, I wasn't myself.
Under interrogation, an Imperial prisoner revealed your involvement in numerous dealings with the enemy. We've also been investigating reports that you are a practitioner of forbidden arts. You'd best come along with us.
You invite me to your party and now you want me to leave? I do so detest receiving mixed signals. Come then. I believe I've lost my appetite for this farce of a celebration.
You go too far, Lord Adeleji. By what right do you march armed soldiers into a royal banquet and eject state visitors without Her Grace's consent? You treat the brass blades as your personal army and show contempt for the throne with your every act. Leave us, now.
Is that an order, General? Mayhap you have mistaken me for one of your flames. You will find I am not so slavishly obedient. As you lecture me on personal armies. As for your outrageous claim that I have shown contempt for the throne, let all here observe that it was not I who feasted while an assassin removed its occupant. I expect this is your idea of defending the nation, is it? This and diluting our forces through these distractions in Cartano and Kurthis. I do begin to see how the ranks of the Immortal Flames came to be riddled with Garlean sympathizers. You are plainly unfit for command.
Wait, goddamn you. Your words make no sense. What assassin?
You mean to say you don't know? We caught the vaunted champion of the Scions in Her Grace's private chambers, not moments after the deed was done.
No! No, this cannot be!
Save your breath. You will need it to plead your case. You and your entire order are to be tried for this atrocity. Bring in the prisoner!
Like, for us to get captured is, like, beyond what makes sense to me.
This woman stands accused of poisoning Her Royal Majesty Nanamu ul Namo and is suspected accessories to the crime. All members of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn will be detained for questioning.
This is madness!
What a pity. Who'd have thought your tale would end like this?
Should you demand further proof, a vial with traces of the substance used to poison Her Grace was found upon the assassin's person.
How very convenient.
You would speak of convenience? Who persuaded Her Grace to host this celebration? A diversion which presented you and your confederates ample opportunity to commit the crime, and a crowd within which to fade from view. A more convenient occasion I could scarcely imagine.
How dare you! After all we have done for Uldar!
Hold your tongue, witch! I'll not be ensorcelled! I know all about the dark gift that you and your disciples wield. Oh yes, I've observed how you worked upon the minds of the Alliance leaders, bending them to your will. And what of your cordial relationship with Sir Emmerich? For years, Ishgard abjured all contact with the outside world, and now the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights treats you with the familiarity of a childhood friend. I'll tell you what I think. I think this desperate defense of Ishgard was but a ruse to deceive us into dividing our forces. Your next move will be to charm your Kurthan allies into invading our lands.
Now that is truly ridiculous!
How do you even think of this stuff?
She cannot be dead. Stand aside, Ilbert. I want to see the Sultana.
Spare yourself the pain, brother. I saw her with my own eyes. For a mercy, the poison took her swiftly. Her handmaiden can attest to that.
This cannot be. Nanamo. Nanamo. No!
Plainly, the Royalists can no longer be relied upon to keep our nation safe. And so it falls to the monitorists of the Syndicate to govern Uldar. But should you wish to help us, General, we would be more than happy to entrust the task of planning Her Grace's funeral to you. It seems only right that you should bury your precious Sultana, and we will be glad to be rid of that burden.
I'll bet you will. You more than any man.
Whatever do you mean?
Oh, Samog.
I mean you had her killed, you black-hearted bastard!
What rot! Though I did have sufficient motive, 'tis true. That young lady caused me no end of grief. She always was a most unwilling puppet. I dare say Her Grace was grateful that someone thought to cut her strings.
You would mock her, then mock her from hell!
What?
Have you lost your mind, General? It is forbidden to draw steel in the royal chambers, much less slaughter our fellow Syndicate members. You're one of them! You've been in league with the Scions all along!
You're next, you scheming bastard!
Raban!
Seven hells!
Admiral, we must leave.
There goes his arm.
How unlike you, old friend. I did not expect to take your arm so easily.
Take the Scions into custody. They have conspired to commit regicide. And arrest this traitor as well.
Ilbert, I hope you choke on their coin.
'Tis better than the dirt I've supped on these long years. We can't all abandon Alamigo and become great war heroes as you have. You are not the man you once were, Raban. Since that girl strapped the yoke around your neck, you've become docile. She took the mad bull and cut off his balls, and a bull that cannot rot is fit for naught but slaughter. Shall I tell you who really killed your precious Sultana?
You know, I'm more impressed that he's not bleeding after getting his arm cut off. Not a single drop of blood. I didn't know his blade was fucking sharp and cauterizes wounds. Impressive. Very is impressive.
It was me.
You die!
I guess he can cauterize wounds with that fire shroom.
I never doubted you, not for a moment. But there is more to this than I yet understand. Flee this place. Clear your names. Find out who is behind this plot. It is the only way. Now go!
Ah, there you are.
Thancred, where have you been?
Avoiding the fumbling advances of some very persistent admirers. When I realized the celebrations had turned sour, it seemed prudent to slip away and take stock of the situation. 'Twould appear that much of the city is already under tight guard. It occurs to me that expanding the Brass Blade's authority may not have been such a wonderful idea after all.
The success of this plan was contingent upon those thugs having the run of the place. Just how long has this scheme been in motion?
The careful preparations, the maneuvering of forces. I am inclined to agree with the General's insistence that a deeper plot exists here.
So, would I be right in thinking we now have an excuse to pummel as many brass blades as we like?
Unless you plan on pummeling them all, I'm not sure that will greatly aid our cause.
The Sultana's assassination was but one part of the scheme. We too were its targets. And though we did not share Pornonimo's fate, we are yet hobbled by the charges laid at our door. Where now might we seek refuge?
Where indeed, we may safely assume that our foe is thought to have the Rising Stones watched.
Forgive me for stating the obvious, but our choice of destination will matter little if we cannot secure an escape route out of Ul'dah. Happily, I believe I can provide one. Papa Shan once told me about the passages hidden in the walls of the palace. If I recall correctly, the fireplace in Animo's chambers conceals the entrance to a tunnel. It should lead outside the city and allow us to avoid any messy confrontations.
The rest of you, go on ahead. I'll handle this lot.
By yourself? I suppose I shall just have to join you.
Crystal Braves too, huh? Now this should be interesting.
Ida! Papalimo!
We will hold our pursuers here. Hurry, now! Find this tunnel of Thancreds.
Can't they just walk all the way around? No entrance is this circle.
Minfilia, we cannot linger.
Now look what you've done.
Ida, are you all right? There are just too many of them.
I'm fine. I could do this all day. How about you?
Nearing the end of my tether.
They just have infinite force of these copy-pasted warriors, huh?
This is so stupid. We're the scions of the Seventh Dawn. The ones who stand between this realm and the evil that's trying to destroy it.
And if you think we'll leave the stewardship of Eorzea to the likes of your masters, then you're sorely mistaken.
Sorry I dragged you into this, Papalimo.
'Tis hardly the first time, and I'll be damned if it will be the last. Let them have it, Ida!
I was hoping you'd say that.
Shame Final Heaven isn't a AoE move. But, no, he can have an AoE move.
I never knew such a watercourse existed beneath Uldar.
The architecture is of the Sildine style, if I'm not mistaken. The ancients plainly foresaw the need for a ready means of escape.
This way!
Well, that didn't take long. It seems these tunnels were not as secret as I'd hoped.
You two, go on ahead. Thancred and I will deal with this.
What do you mean to do?
Only that which is required to ensure that the dawn's light survive to brighten the morrow.
Fear not, antecedent. You haven't seen the last of these fair features.
My friends.
Leave us!
What is the plan, milady? Shall I take the dozen on the left and you the dozen on the right? The odds are not exactly stacked in our favor.
How do we know what way to leave to, by the way? Unless these tunnels are just one way.
Numbers will count for little when I bring the tunnel down upon their heads. Though I cannot say I relish the thought of being entombed with you for all eternity.
You wound me. I will have you know that many a maid would kill for the chance to spend forever at my side. Now, may I have the last dance? Well, this is going splendidly. Now would be a good time, milady!
"'Tis done. Forgive me, Mitra.
Farewell, Ophelia.
I'm not quite sure who Mitra is.
Heidelin, she speaks to me. No. I must remain behind, but you cannot stay with me. Please, you must go on. You are the warrior of light. You are hope for the Scions and for all the realm. As long as your flame continues to burn, the light of the dawn may ever be relit. You must escape and save Eorzea from those who would plunge it into darkness. Tis the only way.
Also, since we don't have the blessing of light, we don't get to hear what she hears. Let alone she can't really... Aileen can't talk to us. Is the case.
I am glad to see you safe, my friend. What of the others? Damn that man! Tulky played me for a fool! I thought the Crystal Brave's mine till the very moment I felt the blade at my back.
There will be ample time for soul-searching later. For now, we must put some arms between us and Ul'dah.
Well, would you look who it is? Need a ride? I doubt it'll be half as exciting as the last trip we took. Not if I have anything to say about it anyway. Let's not dawdle, eh? All aboard! I was stocking up on supplies over in Vesper Bay, you see, when your sister come up and begged a favour. Said her brother was having some trouble down in Ul'dah, and likely needed a helping hand getting away.
Probably say it at that, huh?
Thinking them ruins would make a fine hiding place, I decided to try there first. And lo and behold, there you were. Aye, and judging by them soldiers as were pouring out of the city, I arrived not a moment too soon. Ha! Must have been fate that we happened to find you there, though, eh?
I had thought to look out for Alize, but would appear she was the one watching over me. I've made such a mess of things.
And who might you be, young sir?
Pippin Taropin, Vice Marshal of the Immortal Flames. I had been on the Alamegan front these past few moons, but an urgent communication called me back to Ul'dah. Scarce had my boots touched the cobbles, though, when the streets erupted with cries of assassination. I immediately went in search of answers, and came across Master Alfino here. Needless to say, I did not think his imprisonment justified. The blame plainly lies with the Monitarists. Their greed and corruption are well known to me, but for them to take advantage of the situation with such alacrity...
Was that Pippin, you said? Ain't that the name of General Alden's lad?
Yes, I am his son. Adopted, of course. 'Twas only as we were leaving Ul'dah that I learned of father's fate. Once I have seen you a safe distance away, I mean to return to the city and extricate him from this madness.
Then you needn't travel no further than Blackbrush. Our fugitives have a friend waiting for them there.
I dreamed of bringing about Eorzea's salvation, but in the end, 'twas I who needed saving.
Must be a hard hit to Alphino's ego. For sure. Everything that transpires. Them soldiers would keep searching for a while yet. Reckon we'll take the carriage back towards Ul'dah and get the lay of the land. Maybe provide a distraction if needs be. You three wait here. Help will be along shortly. Stay strong, friends. The real fight's to come. Alright, let's go. How could I be so blind? Yeah, Alphina's gonna be kicking himself for quite a long time. The most unassuming folk can prove to be our greatest allies. That fellow was but a passing merchant, yet he lent us aid without a moment's hesitation, or any hint of concern for his own safety. But I can well imagine how a man could feel inspired to risk all in your presence. Father spoke often of you, Hikaru, and long have I looked forward to our first meeting. Needless to say, this is not at all how I envisioned it. Master Alphino, you must not give in to despair. That would only play into our enemy's hands. As long as you and Hikaru are free, we may still set things right. Forgive me, Marshal Tarupin, but Alphino, my boy, sorry to keep you waiting. Sid, what are you doing here? Blowing out a fire as usual. Your merchant friend told me everything. Truly, and he is no merchant but an angel in peddler's clothing. But tell us, how do you intend to bear our friends to safety? I hit the Enterprise but a short distance away. All I need is a destination. We must find a place beyond the reach of both the Monetarist and the Crystal Braves. Earthis. Ishgard will not suffer the intrusion of foreign forces in their territory. That settles it. With me, everyone. Not I fear. I must remain here. I dare not abandon Ul'dah to the Monetarists and their cronies. You may be certain that they will seek to defame you, both here and in the other city-states. But know that I shall do my utmost to thwart their every effort. Frankly, I do not expect it to be much of a challenge. The small folk will not turn so easily on the Warrior of Light and her allies, no matter what the Monetarists claim. Marshal Tarupin, I know not what to say. Now that Father would labor to believe. But enough talk, you must go. Master Alphino, your airship awaits. Up, up. There's no rest for the righteous. Where did they even land this? Well, I guess he's not staying. Fair enough. We should make for Camp Dragonhead and speak with Lord Horshavant. Mayhap he will know what to do. Master Alphino told me your tale, Hikaru. It warms my heart that you should turn to me before all others, and I shall endeavor to deserve your trust. Alas, the situation has grown more complicated in your absence. It would be best if I explained in full.
There has been word from the capital. Ishgard has weathered another assault, and 'tis said several wyverns broke through into the city proper. The temple knights succeeded in slaying the beasts, but the intrusion prompted orders to further strengthen the guard, and to place the city under a perpetual state of alert. How keenly we feel the loss of our wards at the gates of judgment. Yet we must not bemoan our misfortune. Sir Emmerich is safely returned from Ul'dah, and once more leads the defense of Ishgard. As for the matter of your asylum, I am afraid no progress will be made until the threat to our nation is diminished. But do not despair. You are not without allies. You are more than welcome to shelter here for as long as you wish. Pray, think of it as a new headquarters of sorts. The Falling Snows, or some such.
The Falling Snow.
All frivolity aside, any who come here in search of you will receive no aid from House Forton. For once, the Ishgardian reputation for inhospitality shall work in our favor.
And this is why a lot of people are very fond of Horshavant. He's a very good character. Many good reasons to be fond of him.
Agents of Ul'dah will find their every inquiry dismissed, and their every request for entry rebuffed, until such time as their masters have acknowledged your innocence. You once fought to preserve the honor of my dear friend. 'Tis a blessing that I may now repay that debt in kind. But let us dwell no more on this. Pray, join the rest of your companions. 'Tis bitterly cold this day. I suspect there are those who might welcome the warmth your presence brings.
Who managed to escape, and what of those who did? You're gonna have to sit on those questions for a bit, Alphino. Greetings, madam. Shall I show you inside? Upon proceeding to the intercessory, several cutscenes will sequence. It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. For the dawn. Alphino, Hikaru, is it really you? I'm so happy that you are. I tried contacting Minfilia and the others, but no one responded. And then Crystal Braves, our own people, turned on us in the marketplace. Philomene told me to run, and so I did. I ran and I ran until my lungs burned and my feet ached. I lost my way. Fortunately, I'd observed some braves behaving suspiciously beforehand. Ah, yeah, yes, my mask. I was lost in the struggle. Pretty, isn't she? Anyway, after Yugiri found me, we traveled to Vesper Bay and met up with Orionje. When we told him what had happened, he used his magics to weave a glamour around the Waking Sands. From the outside, our old headquarters was like an abandoned. The transformation didn't take long either. Apparently, Orionje started making preparations after the Imperial attack, just in case the Empire ever chose chaos on a visit. Good thinking, eh? Sorry, where was I? Oh, yes. So we waited there at the Waking Sands, hoping others would come, but no one else did. My people are searching for the other sounds even as we speak. We have met with us as yet. I had hoped that you might be able to suggest further places to look. But you should know, the Rising Stones do not share the Waking Sand fortune. Only Crystal Braves wait. By that as it may, we yet have cause to hope. The two of you escaped. It is not impossible that the others could have done so as well. You may have been forsaken by men and women true. But rest assured that the people of Doma yet stand with you. We welcome this opportunity to repay our debts, and shall continue our efforts to locate the others and see the Scions restored to their. First time we get to see you, Giris.
'Tis all my doing. I believed myself the only one who truly understood Eorzea's woes, and look what that arrogance has wrought. I gave commands, influenced governments with my certainty. I treated the Crystal Braves and even the Scions themselves as pawns in my great scheme to save the realm. But in my headlong rush into imagined glory, I paid no heed to the ground upon which I trod. The salvation of Eorzea. What was it that I hoped to achieve? Did I believe that I could rid the realm of every danger and difficulty? That I could defeat the Empire and the Ascians, and find homes for every refugee? Oh, yes. I was so very clever. Become a guardian of Eorzea, I implored, and sat back to watch my perfect army cleanse the land of chaos, which was all but a means to feed my own vanity. Only when all is lost do I finally realize the truth.
Oh, Alphino.
So, Master Alphino, are you content to remain a broken blade? Is there no flame hot enough to reforge you? What of the fine companions who yet stand at your side? I dare say the fires of their determination will soon have you slicing the air again with your customary wit.
I hardly deserve such friendship. And besides, where are we to go?
Alphino, if I may? Should this place not serve our purpose, then we shall go to Ishgard. Minfilia told me many times, as long as we stand fast against despair, the beacon of hope will never be lost to sight. Be it in the snow or in the clouds, we few will see that the dawn's light shines again.
You are right, Tataru. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words, Lord Orchefon. 'Tis true that Eorzea yet has her guardians. The Scions have achieved much, and 'twould be remiss of me to discard it all in a fit of self-pity. Let us then resume our journey, together, one step at a time.
I am very fond of it. Much do like this theme a lot. You can hide the scroll text. I actually never knew you could do it. But that is the end of AR as its entirety. After this is Heavensward, which is a very strong expansion. I do think Heavensward has a very, very good expansion. And AR is a necessary evil, I guess, is the right word. Maybe the right word. Necessary for AR to exist, or you have problems of not having enough story to care, or just any groundwork for any future expansions. But now that the story building has been made and the world building has been made, you can now expand upon these ideas. You don't have to explain yourself every expansion who the Guardians are, why they're such a problem, who the Ascians are, why they're such a problem, where your power comes from. There's little left room to confuse to what enemies are, where your powers are, where conflict of interests are, who your companions are, stuff like that. And it does take a while to build a world like that, though. It's definitely very Oh, very interesting art. More than likely the AR. I don't know what the word is, but they do have art like this every expansion. Official art, but I don't remember what the proper word is. Depiction of Hydaelyn in background, Bahamut's on the right. You have Gaius on the left, front of Hydaelyn. The various warrior of lights in different jobs. Paladin by me, monk, warrior. Assuming the left has bard. Can't really see the others, but I assume it's the base classes. So you have dragoon and black mage. Man, I do love hearing answers. But the rest are just credits. And skipping this will just go to the next cutscene. Does not skip the whole thing.
All has been arranged as you desired, my lord.
Nabrialis is no more. The ardor was not his to invoke. His demise was his own making. Nevertheless, it concerns me. They've extinguished that which should rightly be eternal. Mayhap he was not wholly mistaken. Greater haste may be warranted. We are of one mind. The northern lands, then. The earth is fertile, and the seeds well sown. By my will, they shall reap salvation unlike any world has known. By his will. By his will. I have answered thy summons, emissary. Speak and make thine intent known. I would speak of fate, Archon. Yours, mine, the fate of this very star.
deepest sanctuary lieth beyond. Delusion, despair, death. Thou shalt find naught else here.
To preserve the dawns, the heroes journeyed. Their hearts filled with hope and eyes fixed heavens, which is the next expansion. Into which we will continue later. I think this is a nice stopping point, as it is a what should I say? A nice beginning point of Heaven's War. Although, before anything, I always do like seeing the next, all the opening movies. So here's Heaven's War. must say, Heavensward's theme is also very strong. Very good theme. Well, named Heavensward. Yeah. Very good theme, honestly. Very, very strong theme. Yeah. Well, that's the end of A Realm Reborn. I'll just stay on the character screen so it doesn't just pull me into a cutscene again. But yeah, that will be the end of A Realm Reborn. Next time we continue Beyond Heavensward, which I believe is a very strong expansion. Very, very good expansion, Heavensward. Well, will be good to go through it. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and thanks for sticking around. Have a good rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.